Brad Owen, the most popular poker video blogger, is known for his strong, methodical, balanced poker approach. He's normally not known for being too crazy, but today, he may have the opportunity to bluff off his entire stack. Let's see if he decides to play like Rampage today.
Here we're dealt ace-queen offsuit in the small blind. Under the gun raises to 200. It's the same opponent who beat me with queen 10 suited earlier. The hijack calls. We've got an interesting decision. I can make an argument for folding, calling, or re-raising. I take the aggressive approach with a 3-bet to 1400. Taking this down right now wouldn't be a bad outcome. We're not able to do it though. Under the gun calls for 1200 more in order to go to war with us. The hijack folds, it's down to heads up, it's already a big pot.
In this episode of Weekly Poker Hand, we are taking a look at a spot from 2550 no limit hold'em. A player in early position raises to 200. Another player calls. Brad Owen looks down at ace of diamonds, queen of hearts in the small blind and bumps it up to 1400. This may seem like kind of a large re-raise, but when you're playing very deep stacked, often you want to size it up a little bit. And when you are out of position, you also want to size it up a little bit. Brad does well. I like this size. This is going to put his opponents in a pretty nasty spot with much of their range. So fine and good.
Flop comes 8-5-3 with 2 clubs. We don't connect at all. All we've got are 2 overs and a backdoor wheel draw. Still, we showed a lot of strength pre-flop. We're going to continue showing strength. I bet 1400 again. This may not get folds from the opponent's pocket pairs, but it should probably fold out the opponent's ace-high hands that don't have a club or 2. Under the gun calls pretty quickly, which is often a sign of a draw, but he could definitely have hands like queens, jacks, 10s, or 9s. If he had a set, he would have taken more time to consider raising.
Heads up on the 8-5-3 2-club board with no club. I think betting is fine and reasonable, but I don't actually think it's mandatory in this situation because the under the gun player should have a lot of pocket pairs in their range. And if they do have ace king or ace queen, it probably has a club in it. So I get the idea of betting. I think 1400 is fine. I might size down just a little bit because this is a spot where when Brad re-raises preflop, he should just have a lot of good, strong pairs and high cards that are in pretty good shape against much of his opponent's range. But I think this bet is certainly fine and reasonable. He gets called. Let's head to the turn.
The turn is the king of hearts. Generally, it'll be a good card for us because we'll have more combos of ace, king, and kings in our range than the opponent after he passed on the opportunity to 4-bet preflop. I played this exactly like I would have with aces, kings, and ace king so far. Ace queen is about the worst hand that I'll have. I keep my foot on the gas, so I announce a bet at 3,500. King on the turn and continued aggression should make all those middle to high pocket pairs from queens down to 9s incredibly uncomfortable. Those are the most likely hands that I put the opponent on. He caught me bluffing him earlier, so maybe he doesn't want to give up just yet with those holdings, especially since the 7 deuce game is on. The opponent calls to 3,500. There's about 13,000 in the pot. We've got 8,250 left.
The turn is the king of hearts. This is a great card for Brad to keep bluffing on because the flush is missed, and Brad could easily have ace king or pocket kings, or maybe even king queen. And if the opponent did have a hand like pocket jacks, they just got a whole lot worse. Now, I don't expect pocket jacks to fold to Brad's 3,500 bet on the turn, but I think if he blasts it on the river, I think it's actually pretty likely those hands do fold. Now, when you do bet the flop and the turn with ace queen in the spot, you have to realize you are bluffing. And on top of that, you actually have a really good bluffing hand on most rivers, especially ones that are not a club, because you block pocket aces and ace king, which are very, very likely hands for your opponent to have. So this is a great spot to keep bluffing, assuming you decide to bluff, which is not mandatory, but I do think the king of hearts makes it close to mandatory. Brad goes for it. I like it.
The river is the 4 diamonds. We only have ace high with 5 figures in the middle. Would have been nice to be holding a club in our hand on the flop, but now that the flush draw is missed, it's actually great that we don't have a club because the opponent could definitely have a hand like ace 10, ace jack, or ace queen of clubs, in addition to those pocket pairs that will reduce the second pair on the turn. None of those holdings will want to see us rip it. There's still a tiny chance that we're up against ace king or pocket kings, but it's not all that probable. I played this game a few times now, and I've never triple barrel bluff shoved. Well, never until now. Again, I'd play this the exact same way with aces, kings, and ace king. We put the opponent in the blender, so he definitely doesn't have kings or ace king. He's got to have second pair or worse. As more time elapses, I'm feeling better and better about the shove. The opponent must have queens down to nines like we suspected. We get a count on my chips so that under the gun knows how much I'm willing to risk before he inevitably folds. Except, that's not what he does. After 40 seconds, he makes the call.
You win.
Nice turn. This is gross. We lose a $30,000 pot to king nine of spades. The opponent made a ridiculous call pre-flop.
The river's the four of diamonds. Brad needs to go for it. He rips it in, and he gets snapped off. Ugh, brutal. What do you think of Brad's decision to run the triple barrel bluff in this situation? Take a second. Think about it. Let me know in the comments section down below, and I'm going to be right back with my analysis of this spot. While I think Brad's flop continuation bet was not 100% necessary, when he does bet the flop, I think you kind of have to keep bluffing on the turn. You really should not expect your opponent to have too many king X to get to the turn. Now, the opponent did have king nine of spades, but recognize if they had king nine of spades, they could easily have a whole lot of other weaker hands. Now, the problem is that ace queen actually beats all of those weaker hands. But if you check, your opponent's going to feel pretty inclined to bluff with them. Like say the opponent did float the flop with jack 10 of diamonds or something like that, just some nonsense. When you check to them on the king of hearts turn, they're probably going to bluff, and then you're probably going to fold your ace queen. So I think Brad definitely needs to keep bluffing the turn. And on the river, it's so easy for the opponent to have a medium pocket pair or a busted flush draw that maybe even has a pair, like ace five of clubs, to the point that you need to bluff the river. So even though this one did not work out, and he got completely snapped off, I think this was a pretty good bluffing opportunity for Brad. This time, though, it worked out pretty bad.